To show the green days and the red days. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TacBot Solutions. And just like I talked about AMC yesterday with being one of the worst days for AMC as it was hitting lows of $35 a share, all of a sudden, when things looked like they were simply getting that much more worse, we experienced a complete breakout of AMC where it was down about 4%, nearly 5% on the day, and it hit highs of $41.50. I wanted to share with you, right? Yesterday I showed and broke down how much it was that I was down. My average purchase price, I had 2,300 shares. Now I'm left with 1,000 shares. I slightly reduced my position size. I'm not here to pretend like I'm holding. You guys know that I proactively day trade AMC, and I hope that you guys didn't get yesterday confused with, I showed that I was down on that trade. Obviously, I've been trading AMC for some time, and one of the things that I've always focused on is risk management. I'm not here to convince people that are trying to hold AMC to not hold. If you want to hold and that's your focus and that's your intent, all power to you. I'm here to talk to the people that are trying to trade it, right? And just like we talked about AMC when it was hitting highs of $52, and when it surpassed $50, I did my part in simply reminding people, and maybe why it's not the worst idea, to reduce your position size at overbought levels in case we anticipate a pullback. And then as AMC began to pull on back, that's when I began to, in a sense, buy the dip and began to trade it. And even then, right, it still sold off, but I was doing a very good job reducing my position size and selling the highs and buying the lows. And I feel like I did a fair job today. My trades were not perfect, but just like I showed you guys my red day yesterday, I think I was down like $2,300. Today's my green day, and I'm up a little bit over $7,900. And the way that I was able to do this was I wanted to show you and not just talk about it, but I ended up selling. I started to sell as we surpassed $37, and we were approaching $38 a share. And the reason why is yesterday's resistance level, as you can see, is right around $38 a share. Based off of yesterday's highs, I just wanted to play it safe, so I began to load off. I sold 500 shares at $37.78. I sold 500 shares at $37.73. I sold another 300 at $38.86. And I sold 250 at $41.39. So if you guys do the math, I only had 2,300 shares. I'm left with 750 shares. And then AMC began to pull on back, right? So I did a really good job selling at the highs. My highest sell was this one, which is at $41.39. And the great thing about that is that as it began to pull on back, then guess what? Because I sold most of my position at those overbought levels, I'm able to at least take advantage of AMC at the lower prices because I have money now left available. And that's all we ever talk about, setting your future self up for success, because we know that when something goes up within a very short period of time very aggressively, it tends to somewhat correct itself. And thankfully we did, because AMC went from being up over 10% on the day to quickly pulling back to lows of 37. And because of that, I was able to buy, and buy. And also, you guys can see this. I bought 100 shares of TQQQ, and I wanted to talk about that as well. So that has a focus on the NASDAQ market. One of the things that you guys should be aware of, and I'm not here to encourage any of you, I'm just simply talking about the overall NASDAQ market. On the 4-hour time frame, this is the NASDAQ index. This, again, follows the overall NASDAQ market, and it is more bullish than it is bearish. I've said it so many times before that it tends to find a support at around the SMA line. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. NASDAQ market, overall markets can continue to drop. Make sure you take that into consideration. It looks like all my different apps are opening right now. But with knowing about that, right, all market can continue to drop. Looking at where we're at right now, I see that the market is more on the cheaper side than it is on the overbought side, which is why I decided to buy a little bit more of TQQQ. Am I up on TQQQ? Am I very aggressively invested in TQQQ? Definitely not. But TQQQ is a bull triple leverage, so it does decay over time. Please be aware of that. ETF that follows the NASDAQ market. It is more bullish than it is bearish, and because it sold off so much, I see it to be somewhat as of a dip by opportunity. So from lows of 123 to overall highs of 150, it's over 20% margin. You can see why I find it to be attractive. That's simply my focus. That's simply my intent. This is about a 20% position size, but guess what? TQQQ, just like the overall market, can continue to drop. So please don't try to copy my trade, especially if you don't know how to manage your risk, and especially if you don't know how to tolerate pullbacks. It's all about position size, and it's all about pullbacks. Not only am I focusing on TQQQ and AMC, but you guys know that I'm buying up on a lot of blue chip stocks, such as Facebook, Google, Amazon, Starbucks, companies that I see value in that have recently pulled on back. And now is the time. Now is the time, in my opinion, based off of previous just patterns and previous conditions, that while everyone is freaking out as these stocks pull back a little bit, people like you and I can take advantage of the cheaper price, and when these stocks recover, we can make that difference. It doesn't mean that they have to recover tomorrow, next week, next month. It can take time, and it can still continue to sell off, which is why we either wait for confirmation or watch our position size. It is so important. But I wanted to make sure that I do my part, not just updating you guys on my green days, but of course my red days, as I did yesterday. But I think today was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people that were holding AMC, and I just hope that it continues to rally. But just in case AMC doesn't, this is why I went from 2,300 shares down to 1,000 shares, because I can always buy back in, but I can't always sell, right? So if it pulls on back, then I can buy more at a cheaper price, and that's simply my intent. Again, I'm not here to try to convince people that are holding AMC to no longer hold it. If that's your intention, then that's your focus. All power to you. I'm just here talking to the people that want to trade AMC and that want a better understanding of why I buy and why I sell. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. I'm very excited for our live trading session tomorrow at Market Open. And if you want to join us, again, that's that second link down below with our Learn Plan Profit group. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.